I've never in my life heard of Lewis McClung until about 2 days ago, and God do I wish it could have stayed that way, but like the old cliche goes, all good things come to an end, so essentially this moron has been involved in a lot of drama that's been unfolding, I'd say over the last week and a half or so, and it's actually pretty unbelievable how stupid it all is. It's honestly a tale as old as time. You've got your lying, your deception, a lack of research, and my personal favorite, cringe. Like, this dude is the whole package in the worst way, of course. He's been slandering people left and right with literally no proof or credibility whatsoever, and just overall he's been spreading a ton of lies, so I figured we could break down the drama here today, so let's just go ahead and roll this shit. I'm sure it'll be oh so educational, as always. So it all begins when this goofy goober recently made a hit piece video on a creator by the name of Danky Jabo. And in it, he made some pretty wild claims.
The accusations against Danky Jabo, aka Jesse, go as follows. Lying to your audience, using hateful, derogatory speech towards women, silencing those who are against you, and lying to and manipulating your audience, those who hold you as sanctity. Honestly, your audience is literally all you have as a YouTuber. That's it. That's all you have. And to lie to them, to manipulate them, to avoid the truth. Maybe not so much lie, but to silence the truth.
First and foremost, I hate his corny editing, man. Like the smoke and mirrors bullshit and his corny little Mario Party looking ass point system there on the side. Like with the whole smoke thing, like, listen, little man, we know you be vaping in the gender neutral bathroom. You really don't need to try and convince us anymore. Just go ahead and sit this one out. And then the whole Mario Party point system thing, like, dog, we can count to 4. I don't know if a lot of your viewers do, though, to be fair, so I guess that's a good inclusion. I don't know. But this is all just merely a distraction that's meant to distract you from the bullshit that he's about to be spewing in just a minute here. But I'd like to make a note of the 4 points he made, those being that Danky Jabo is lying to his audience, that he hates women and uses derogatory hate speech towards them, how he silences those who are, quote, against him, and apparently, because I guess it's so important to his narrative, he mentions lying to his audience a second time. Like, that's how you know this shit is fabricated. I swear this Poindexter-looking motherfucker, the kind of guy that uses etc. after, like, exercising every last fiber in his brain to produce just 2 examples. He'd be all like, Danky Jabo's a liar, a misogynist, I don't know, etc., right? And I hate also how only after he starts misleading his audience and his viewers, he then doubles back and says, oh, well, maybe not lying, it's more like, but like at that point, you've already put these dangerous claims out there and have clearly demonstrated how you feel about all of it, right? And what he thinks, and I don't know, the whole thing just seems like he has no idea what he's actually talking about and just says shit just to say it. And we all know what he's trying to say, right? He can try and guise it with this back and forth rhetoric and this clear lack of conviction all he wants, but like at that point the damage is already done at this point. He's just out here spreading lies, potentially hurting people's reputations, like these reputations that like people have worked hard to build, right? Like this YouTube shit, you can't just make it in a day, right? It takes a lot of work, and then you've got this little worm-looking fuck just spreading lies and trying to ruin people based off of literally nothing, like, because I'm sure you can all imagine, like, I'd hate to be the spoiler here and spoil the surprise ending here, but he doesn't provide not one reasonable example or, like, form of proof or really anything to back these already ridiculous claims. Or does he? No, he doesn't. Let's just keep going.
Jabo just so happened to be an editor for I'm Alex, or at least one of his editors at some point in time. You can even tell the blatant mentoring through the exact same thumbnail design. They use the exact same thumbnail design. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just more proof that he mentored him or taught him his ways.
The fuck it does. What is bro even going on about? He's essentially saying that Danky Jabo is a liar and this terrible person because he happened to do work for a shitty person like I'm Alex in the past. Like, this probably took place before that insane story broke out on I'm Alex. That was only like 6 months ago. It wasn't that long ago.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the fuck up. Because this one, genuinely, this one,
That may be one of the crash outs of all time, though. What a crazy time that was. But, like, getting back to Lewis here, I just have to ask, man, like, how does the fact that their thumbnails look similar just automatically make them buddy-buddy, you know? I'm gonna let my white boy swag come out for a second here, you know, pardon me, but newsflash, retard. That's a very basic, highly used thumbnail style. You know, everybody's doing that, one. And two, wouldn't it kind of make sense that the thumbnails look similar? I mean, he did do some editing work in the past, you know, Danky Jabo never denied that. Is it possible that these are Danky Jabo's designs on Alex's channel? Like, or maybe he took inspiration from him? Like, he literally has no proof of really anything, and he's jumping to these wild conclusions, you know, just making all these assumptions. And you know what happens when you assume? You make an ass out of you and me. I don't know, am I missing something? I'm hella confused. Either way, this does absolutely nothing to prove that they're buddy-buddy. Like, think about it this way for a second. There's lots of people that go into a job every single day and work for a boss they don't like. This does nothing to prove that they're homies like Lewis is claiming. And neither does this.
But, apparently, and still now, Jesse followed and still follows I'm Alex on Instagram. This is important because one of Alice's friends decided to reach out to him and ask why, if it was an accident, if he meant to unfollow him, or if he just didn't know what was going on, which was unlikely, and is still unlikely, and is very impossible now.
Actually, little man, stay with me here for a second, but this is actually very possible. I mean, not everyone is a terminally online freak counting everyone's followers all the time at any given point in the day. I don't know what to say other than seek professional help, because that's just schizo behavior. In fact, the whole thing is just a schizophrenic shitpost in general, and for me begs the question, like, does this guy seriously believe the garbage he's defecating, or is rent really that high and really that due? But, like, seriously, it's very easy to forget who you're following. Like, I personally, I forgot I was following the Unabomber on Instagram until very recently. You know, good thing I saw this terrible video reminding me to check. Like, shit, man, this is all such a massive reach. Like, the mental gymnastics you gotta traverse to reach this conclusion and then genuinely subscribe to it is honestly just Looney Tunes, dog. I don't know what else to say other than people aren't checking their followers all the time unless they have, like, a mental illness of the sort. It's not normal to watch that shit constantly like a goddamn hawk.
Instead of many options, handling this in stride, ignoring it, confirming that it was just a mistake, no, he responded like so. Is there any reason you still follow and work for an abusive piece of shit? They're talking about Alex, and there's nobody else they could be talking about. I'm so sorry, mate. I'm not doing an accent. I'm not, you can't, no. Shut the fuck up. God damn. I'm sorry, mate. I'll unfollow the annoying orange right now. So you defend abusers. I'm Alex, and work for them. And that means they said it there. That means you can't ignore it. That means, yeah, maybe they could have meant something else. Maybe they could have meant the annoying orange. I don't know. I wasn't there. Maybe the annoying orange was an abusive prick. I wasn't part of the show. I don't know.
Then why the fuck are you commenting on it? Why are you coming out here with these damaging claims if you don't know anything? I just seriously don't get it. Nothing he's said to this point has any sort of weight or validity. I mean, we're like almost 9 minutes into the video now, and he's literally provided nothing but mental gymnastics and a bunch of hypotheticals. Like, honestly, this dude just needs to get off the internet. You know, all this unrestricted internet access has not been good on his critical thinking skills. Like, even watching this back in the recording and the editing, I still can't believe this shit is real. Like, it's so wild. But speaking of damaged critical thinking skills, you'd think it couldn't get any worse for this clown, but the sad reality is that it does. And keep in mind, he's now made a terrible video. He's been called out and, dare I say, pwned by Danky Jabo himself, who was just lights out in his response video. He's gotten ratioed to the lowest circle of hell, and it still gets somehow worse. Take a look at this.
You've heard all the rumors before. Dream likes kids. Dream likes to be a groomer. Dream is full of a bunch of tiny people who operate him like a giant mech house. Huh? All of the above are normal things that people accuse him of.
Yeah, that's right, Dream. So this dude is back on the Dream allegations thing for really only one purpose here, and it's because amidst the Dream versus Tommy Innit situation, Which, side note, by the way, yes, Tommy, this is equally as retarded to what you've got going on over there. But Lewis here saw an opportunity to get some views, you know, spreading lies, talking shit, and being gay. Yeah, Lewis, talking shit and spreading lies, that's gay. Gay as fuck. Boo, stinky bitch. But it's like crazy that after all he's gone through as a result of his stupid decisions, he's back at it again. Keep in mind, just days later, doing the same exact shit. Like, you can't make it up at this point. Like, how stupid are you, dude? You'd think this guy, after releasing one of the worst expose videos, literally of all time, like, I seriously think that's the worst video I've ever seen in my life, would want to stay as far away from controversy, you know, similarly to how far away the bitches are staying from this guy. I mean, look at dude, he's got zero aura, zero bitches, zero drip. Go get some, dog, Jesus, instead of slandering innocent people to get a few cheap views.
Half a year later, this is where shit gets serious, because Dream has been involved in some pretty heinous stuff and been accused of some very serious, heinous stuff. A lot of it can be disproven, fun fact, and that's coming from the biggest Dream hater I have ever met. Me.
So I remember November 2023, it was when the allegations that Dream was a PDF file were really going ham. Like, what the fuck's dude doing going back to the past to try and expose a dude who's already proven his innocence like a year ago? And the fuck you mean you're the biggest Dream hater in the world? You mean to tell me you're not subbed to the channel, you're not tuning into the live streams? Don't tell me you don't own all the merch. Oh my god, Jesus, man. Like, is that the motive for all this? Is his clear hatred for Dream what inspired him to make this hit piece, just resurfacing drama? Might I add, super dangerous drama that wasn't even true in the first place? Like, this is most certainly career impacting. Like, you'll have some retards that don't do their research, like this guy hasn't been doing the whole entire fucking time, and then you get them to fall for it and actually genuinely subscribe to that idea that Dream's a PDF file, and then suddenly, guess what? You know, mass unfollowing, massive career implications. Like, the whole thing is terrible. Like, he's literally spreading misinformation, which is really damaging to these people's careers potentially. Like, this shit is just absolutely insane. I personally don't understand why he still has a channel now that he's done it not once but twice, and so like close to each other in time. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's so weird.
He sent me a picture of his penis, and he sent me a picture of him nut. I clearly sent him stuff as well. I informed him that I was coming to Orlando in August, and it was suggested that we meet up and have sex. I was either going to have him come to the resort I was at, or he was going to pick me up and bring him to his house. He told me that he has a chest full of sex toys that he was going to use on me, and to top it all off, he blocked me after seeing my tweet. You want evidence for that? Here it is. He blocked me. I'm not responding to bullshit comments. You believe me or you don't.
She made these videos directly following the leak of these photos. These were huge photos at the time. If these were real and in the context that people had claimed them to be, it would have been the end. The end for Dream. I don't think he would be living anywhere except for on private property behind iron bars. The biggest thing that really stood out to a lot of people in this specific instance was how much evidence there wasn't to suggest it was him. Until he admitted that it was him. But then he also provided important information that all of these women, all of these younger women, were 18 when he talked to them. Or if they weren't, he was only friendly and not strange. And if you ask me, and this is not just because I'm a Dream hater professionally, right now I'm literally hating on Dream professionally. No. If you ask me, that doesn't clear his name. Even if they're 18, like I just said, doesn't mean you can't groom them into being into you, okay?
Yeah, this is the blatant lie that he's resurfacing, so you can see where I'm coming from when I say this can be career damaging. Like, this woman, if I'm not mistaken, would eventually take to social media to admit she was lying the whole damn time, but yet he still chose to include it in his video. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this idiot? You know, what's the end game here? Because he eventually admits in his own video that this shit didn't happen, so like, why is he doing all this? And he still holds on to that schizo pipe dream that, you know, even though none of this is true, he's still somehow a groomer. Like, dog, This is not grooming because it didn't happen. And then the screenshots he also throws up as evidence are also not true. So if he's not a PDF file, he's not a groomer, like he's somehow suggesting, why make this video? The whole thing is so confusing. And then at the end there, bro, he's not a groomer. That's not grooming. Someone get this guy a Webster's Dictionary stat. Oh my God.
But this is not the evidence of his blatant gastrointestinal discharge. No. Yes, if it was true, straight to loser hell, oh my God. But he proved it wrong. Oh, and that's a great thing, by the way. That's a very good thing. That means there weren't kids that were harmed by his actions. But he was still a cringe freak. Weirdo.
I'm sorry, but I need to say this. This Glee Club looking at dude has such a punchable face and a really annoying voice. It's the most pretentious, high-pitched voice I've ever heard. This guy is a prime bullying subject, no question. I want to string this guy up by his undies at the top of a flagpole, or, I don't know, give him a swirly, a wet willy. Ayo, pause. But, this dork is dressed up like a goddamn Raid Shadow Legends character, spreading lies about people in the corniest, most scumbag ways possible. And I'm supposed to sit here and believe that, these dudes are the weirdos, Dream's the weirdo. Does this motherfucker not realize that mirrors exist? And it's like there's this sense of, I don't know, cognitive dissonance in his head or something. Throughout the video, he's starting to realize that his claims are not true, that he's a fucking moron. And so his comeback response is, oh, well, it's still weird. And these leftist soy boys that make these types of videos without any research, without any, critical thinking skills whatsoever, they always have that comeback. Oh, well, he's still weird, guys. What a fucking weirdo. If it's weird, okay, sure, but it's that's not nearly as damaging as the message you're trying to convey. It's not nearly as damaging as the lies that you're spreading. And so you can cop out and say, oh, well, he's still weird all you want, but it's we know what you're doing. We're not stupid. I don't know, man. This is seriously one of the worst videos I've ever seen in my life. I wish nothing but the worst for this person. And I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. I'm out. I'm done yapping. Later.